It is Sunday, about 10 a.m. I have a bit of a long run workout today. It's only 7 miles, but for me, that's long. And then mixed into it, I have some pushes at tempo. So, a big day. I'm feeling a little tired. I had a late night last night babysitting, but we're gonna go put in the work and see how it goes. I've had 2 pieces of toast. I'm now munching on an apple. It's gonna be a good day. Let's get to work.
My late start is coming to bite me. It is hot out. I'm just finishing my warm-up now. Okay, we're gonna get started. 3, 2, 1. Long run beginning. About halfway done. I'm about to start my tempo pushes. It shouldn't be too hard. It should just feel smooth and strong. So I'm hoping that's the case. Last one.
I think I may have downplayed it a bit when I was recording it, but that was definitely the hardest workout I've done all summer. That's not saying much, given I've only been building for about 2 weeks now, but still, that was not easy for me. Already, tempo in the heat is just tough, but I was also doing it halfway through a long run, so my legs were already somewhat tired, but I do know that's something that serious marathoners do work on in their long runs, like, adding in harder reps on tired legs. I think that's a really important skill to own, especially if I want to go into longer distance racing. So, all in all, a good day, just definitely the hardest workout of the summer. Let me read you a quote from one of the greatest minds in the world of running, a man named Steve Magnus. "If you can't separate yourself from what you do, the losses will hit particularly hard. You can like or even love a pursuit, but be careful marrying it." People always talk about balance, but I think that's a really, really difficult thing to obtain. I mean, with injuries I've talked about in previous videos, I really did have a bit of an identity crisis when I was not able to run. That's why it's so important that I learn to, as Steve Magnus says, take the jersey off. Because at the end of the day, I'm so much more than just a runner. I mean, I'm not even that good at running, so it really can't take up my entire identity. Of course I love it, but I love so many other things as well. And in fact, spending time with those other things will actually make me a better athlete in the long run. So, even though this sounds a little counterintuitive, in order to become the best athlete I can this summer, I also have to lean into the things that are important to me in my life that aren't running. So, this summer I'm running a lot, but what are some of the other goals I'm pursuing for my self-betterment, if you will? Throughout high school, I was a student of Japanese. If I could, I would love to be able to minor in Japanese in college. However, that takes a lot of proficiency in Japanese. This summer, I'm doing everything I can to study up, whether that means time practicing kanji, whether that means time listening to podcasts, whether that means time reviewing the grammar concepts we covered throughout the school year. I just want to put in as many hours a day looking at and listening to Japanese, because at the end of the day, that's where the progress is going to be made. While I'm trying to up my mileage this summer, I'm also trying to up my reading game. The goal for the summer is 5 books. I've always struggled to, really be a big reader, so for me, I think that's a good step in the right direction. And right now, I'm on to my second book, Do Hard Things by Steve Magnus. I talked about Steve Magnus earlier. Really cool guy, knows a bunch about running, knows a bunch about sports psychology, knows a bunch about sports physiology, and knows a bunch about, I think he calls himself an expert in performance. This book is about why we get resilience wrong and the Surprising Science of Real Toughness. I think this is super important to read, both as an athlete, but also just as a person trying to improve himself and his mental state this summer. There's a lot to be taken from this. This book, The Running Ground, I did not read this summer. I'm cheating a little. This is a fantastic read. I got it for Christmas from my grandfather, and it's written by the CEO of The Atlantic. He set the American record for men aged 45 plus in the 50K race, and in 2025 he became the top-ranked runner in the world in his age group for the 50-mile run. But not only is he absolutely dusty at running, he's also, the CEO of one of the biggest publications in the world. Journalism and writing is something that really interests me and something I might want to even go into. So reading about his life, super interesting. Employment-wise, I am also training to become a lifeguard. Got my CPR and resuscitation mask right here. Not only is it just a good job to have over summers and when I'm in school, I think the skills to give CPR and be a BLS provider, really good things to have, especially if I'm doing like long-distance swims in the future or long-distance bikes or long-distance anything. I want to be equipped to be able to help people if need be, whether it's in a triathlon or just, going for a run one day. Also, I really can't mention my goals this summer without mentioning what I'm doing right now. YouTube. As I talked about in my first episode, posting on social media has been one of my dreams for a while. That's why this summer I'm really locking into it for the first time ever in my life. And so far, it's been really fun. I'm trying to max out my free trial of Premiere Pro, so I've been doing everything I can to get better at editing. It's just really fun, and it's rewarding too. And we're almost at 50 subscribers, and I'm trying to get to 100 by the end of the summer. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. I know this is a little corny, but I thought it would be fun to kind of track some of my summer goals on a Google Doc. So I have this Google Doc called Summer 26 Goal Tracker, and I just have a couple things down there that, I want to keep track of throughout the summer, and even if I'm just making progress in small increments, I still think it's fun. Oh, and also mention, as you see up there, I'm saving up for a road bike, and I'm giving myself about a budget of $1,000. I know that's not that much, but I really don't want to blow the bank on some crazy road bike when I've barely cycled, at all. But I don't need a really nice bike to start training for a triathlon. I think it would just be really fun to start cycling on any bike. I'm hoping to get something pretty good for under $1,000, and then we'll see where it takes me from there. So, I hope you enjoyed listening to me yap about my various hobbies and interests, and how I plan on working on them throughout the summer. Today is a rest day for me, which is a perfect time to focus on those rejuvenating activities, those activities that fill my cup, if you will. I'm about to go to the movies with my dad. We're going to see Obsession, and I'll catch you all in the next episode. Thank you very much.